Hello, I'm sorry about the screen shaking. It's on an arm. I was a bit pissed, I think. So, the establishment are done with Morgan McSweeney. Morgan McSweeney is the man who is most credited, apart from Peter Mandelson, I think. Probably more than Peter Mandelson, with bringing down Corbyn. Yay! I hear some of you cheer. Well, do you know what? You're entitled to that opinion. I don't agree with it, but you're entitled to it. So, I didn't know much about him, really. So I'm just interested to hear what these people have to say. So shout out to Turn Left for their article. Go over there and show them some love if that's something that speaks to you. Shall we?
Bringing Jeremy Corbyn's leadership is under fire. Many of you know who he is, and that's Morgan McSweeney, who many describe as the shadow prime minister. Back in February last year, it was revealed that Morgan McSweeney hid nearly £700,000 of donations through the think tank Labour Together and misled regulators to boost farmers' rights.
Do you know what? Whenever I see headlines like this, allegedly, I just think the state. This is money from various people, some of whom have state connections and are interested in seeing the establishment boat remain unrocked by real democracy. So let's carry on, shall we?
There have been a handful of outlets who reported the story, but it didn't get major attention until now. Recent media reports have now suddenly jumped nearly the 2-year-old expose after a book titled The Fraud, Keir Starmer, Morgan McSweeney and the Crisis of British Democracy, which draws on Labour Party files, including some never seen by the public, which exposes the behind-the-scenes strategies and deceptions that helped Keir Starmer to Downing Street.
See, and this is how disaster politics works. I think that a bunch of people who are intent on destruction in order to build something that they want built, and the key here is they're intent on destruction. They have to destroy something in order to build what they want. It needs to be done quickly. They haven't got any time. Oh, bollocks, let's just get it done now. Where's the money? Who do we need to pay off? That kind of thing. And again, this is just my opinion, allegedly. But there is no doubt in my mind that there is state money in this. As I said, the establishment protecting its own. And allied to that are a whole host of other political preferences, requirements, personal preferences and requirements by the various politicians involved, personal and professional affiliations. And so things start to get a bit muddy. But none of that matters, providing you achieve your goal. In this case, getting Corbyn out. Once the monster lurches too far out of control, then all the wrongdoing has been done and recorded, so you can effectively get the monster to involuntarily kill itself, using the very mechanisms that were employed to smear Corbyn. So, shall we?
Jackson, the fraud seen by The Times, the author Paul Holden asked whether the Commission investigation was made aware of emails and a phone call between McSweeney and the Commission in late 2017 and early 2018. Freedom of Information requests revealed that Commission staff explicitly told McSweeney in 2017 that the group must declare donations within 30 days. The book has already prompted the resignation of Paul Ovenden, the Prime Minister's Director of Political Strategy, over crude remarks made about Diane Abbott in 2017. Now, for many of us, we have known about this story about Labour Together and the undermining of Jeremy Corbyn for a long, long time.
I haven't been that aware of it.
At the time, the media were quiet.
I knew he was sabotaged from the inside.
Many journalists
but I ignored
knew
the
a lot
mechanisms.
about behind-the-scenes scandals that were eventually revealed in the Labour files. Yet, it's very convenient that it's being discussed now that this Labour government is widely disliked. The media would have done its job.
Let the monster kill itself.
These facts back in 2017 when it mattered. Kevin, Why do you think the media have suddenly taken an interest in this story?
Hello, Kev.
Do you think it's because the establishment is already finished with Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. What the establishment have always required, whether it be from their handled leadership in the Conservative Party or their handled leadership in the Labour Party, is a reasonable salesperson who is popular enough that they can get away with doing the bidding of capital as if they're doing the bidding of the British people. And he was the right man
That's a fair
in the
point.
right position, given that even though it was a loveless majority, he did get a majority a year ago. And because he had no plan for government, and no charisma and no charm, and frankly is just one of the most dislikable people ever to hold that office, and of course is engaging in a genocide, etc., he's now about as popular as getting rabies or something. He's absolutely
pretty unpopular, I think you'll agree.
He is soiled goods, and they know that, and so there's blood in the water. And they can sense it, and the sharks are circling. And that you can always tell with the British media, because
they've outlived their usefulness. Starmer has outlived his usefulness. Consequently,
bastards, almost to a person.
Let them burn themselves down.
And so they sense that the Labour Together project is no more. It is not long for this world, and the Keir Starmer will be gone by probably at the very latest this time next year. And so
I think it'll be sooner than
the
that.
actual prime ministers, which is Morgan McSweeney and the withered corpse, otherwise known as Pat McFadden, are the actual sort of shadow government behind the scenes, because Keir Starmer is just a puppet,
which I've always
Labour
said.
Together have been using as their mouthpiece. They're not long for this world, politically speaking. And so, the British establishment are to cast them aside and to try and get another reasonable, vaguely popular person, whether it be Wes Streeting or Andy Burnham or whoever, to do the bidding of capital in the halls of Downing Street.
So Wes Streeting, I don't know, Wes Streeting has always struck me as being a bit of a toady, frankly. And again, that's just from the very little I know about him that I've witnessed, certainly in the lead up to Jeremy Corbyn being sabotaged and ousted. But can't we say that of all politicians pretty much now? Really? They're all a bit, that way. A bit snivelling, a bit self-serving. I mean, politics is a dirty business.
And so, they're going to come for him. Even having sat on this information, they've now all of a sudden gained a conscience and are telling the British public so they can make an informed decision. It's the same old, same old. If the British press had given a damn about probity and truth and informing the public so as to make the best political choice on behalf of the nation, the Labour files would not have been necessary, let alone the fact that they were buried by the British press. The British establishment knew that Jeremy Corbyn was something of a threat, and so he had to be dealt with. And they got their money,
my view also.
And it's been an absolute disaster. But not for the people that matter. The people that matter have gotten richer. Everyone else has been completely shafted.
If you're playing alone, highly recommend.
And I think that ultimately is the upshot of it all. We are at the feet of politicians who are effectively in some ways the new, nouveau riche. They're a new sacred class of individual whom are, by any real normal standards, untouchable by the law. These politicos are fully aware of their own power and the world that they inhabit. And that needs to change. There isn't really a single politician in Parliament at the moment who is scared of the British public. And they should be. That's who you're working for. We're their boss. Apparently. Democracy says so. Democracy says they work for us. But no, as it turns out, they work for themselves. And each other, of course, and the establishment, and everything that potentially entails. Once you've sold your soul, there isn't any amount of money that can buy it back again. If you're going to wrestle with the pigs, expect to get covered in shit. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would genuinely be interested, of course. Do like and subscribe if you'd like. And certainly, until next time, do look after yourselves.